All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Stephen Rentschler. He is the CEO of Nevada Lithium. And Stephen, welcome back. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
I'm doing very well and excited about the news you have out talking about your Bonnie Claire Lithium project in Nevada. You've begun sonic drilling at the program, and this is now a next step in sort of de-risking the project, moving the project along. It's kind of a combination of everything, right, Stephen?
Yeah, it really is. You know, Steve, I often talk about Bonnie Claire, and I talk about optionality, and I talk about the de-risking process. And in my prior life as an institutional investor, I love both those things, and I really love them in combination because you never know where additional value can come from, and you also always want to see the de-risking process going on because, as we all know, if you're involved with this sector of the market, it's one continuous, basically, problem that you have to solve, and you can't avoid all the risks. All you can do is try to mitigate them and work your way around them. Now, the PFS process that we're undergoing right now is to work on a borehole mining method, and this is something that was illustrated in our preliminary economic assessment from a couple of years ago. And the work continues. Our core drilling program that we have going on right now is getting us additional data, and we'll be getting more assays relatively soon. But the sonic drilling program that we announced today is working on some things that aren't terribly sexy, but you need them for the PFS, and they're going to help us understand, hey, where would we place a mill site? Well, what happens in terms of water infiltration rates and things that are going on underneath the ground. But the way that I really would like people to think about it is remembering that Bonnie Claire is a massive project at over 18,000 acres, 25% larger than Manhattan Island. And though it looks relatively homogeneous on the surface because you're in the middle of the desert, underneath there's a lot of stuff that's going on that allows us to take a look at different things. And what the sonic drilling program will do specifically is help us understand about the potential for an open pit scenario. One of the things, if you think about an open pit, you've seen many of them in photographs. They take on all different shapes and sizes. Some of them are very, very straight in terms of the walls going down. A lot of the Russian, kimberlite pipes and things like that. And other of them are very shallow and laid back. And sonic drilling is a very precise way of getting a core, the entire core. And what we're looking at is essentially the top 500 feet of material, which would be really where we're talking about a strata that's above where we would do borehole mining to see if there's something additive that we might be able to do with an open pit. So it's a very scientific step. It's additive to what we're doing anyway. And I think the results are going to be very interesting to see how we can unlock share value at Bonnie Claire.
Yeah, Stephen, people may say, well, looking at, what kind of pit you're going to be, like, why not do that afterwards when you've done all the other drilling first and you sort of get to a point where, but as you point out, trying to get all the data first allows people who would look at potentially, acquiring a project like yours or looking at projects or investing, all that kind of information you can give before all of that stuff happens, allows it to, as you mentioned, de-risk it, but also allows people to understand sort of the makeup of what this project could be.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Steve. The more that you can tell people ahead of time, the better. One thing I want to make sure that people understand is that we're progressing with the borehole mining method at Bonnie Claire. When you go through the technical reports from PEA to PFS to FS, you have to pick one method. I mean, those are the rules. But that doesn't mean that we'll be constrained in the future. Again, I hearken back to the size of Bonnie Claire, and you never know where additional value could come from. The open pit is something we're there anyway at those depths. We're looking at the material, we're looking at the ground conditions, and again, we're looking at water ingress and egress, all the types of things that we need to know anyway. So since we're there and we can throw a little bit of extra money and the engineers at it, we can answer some very specific questions, again, to go back to see about the optionality in maybe a different area, Bonnie Claire, for an open pit. We've been finding areas of higher grade material coming closer to surface in areas where we hadn't originally started drilling. Again, this goes back to the expansiveness of the project. So, even though that PEA already shows very, very robust economics for the borehole mining at very low lithium prices, even though we've seen lithium prices drop off recently, you never know what else we might be able to do. And it's incumbent upon the management team to try to unlock that value however we can.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Stephen, thank you so much. Good update. We look forward to checking in with you again. And I know you mentioned there could be some results coming soon, so we'll look forward to those as well. Okay.
Steve, thanks. I appreciate your time. You take care.
All right, you as well. Stephen Rentschler, the CEO of Nevada Lithium.